I know that you want to look your best. You want to be attractive. You want other people to see you as attractive. So, what are some things that you should avoid or not do at all? You automatically will become more physically attractive. It's pretty much guaranteed. I know that you want to look good. You want to look your best. In fact, I don't know anybody who really wants to be ugly or unattractive. So, what we're going to talk about today is some things that you should not be doing, as well as some things that you should be doing to maximize your looks. And every one of us is born somewhere on the look scale. Some of us are not naturally very attractive. Some of us are more average. Some of us are naturally very good looking. And wherever you are, it is what it is. There's no right or wrong. It just is what it is. So we're going to discuss what you can do to maximize what it is that you have. Okay. So this is Mark Johnson. I am the founder of Bounce Pep, bringing you ideas for a fit and flourishing future. And of course, I'm the youngest son of Bill Johnson. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you do. I want you to subscribe and be a loyal listener. Okay, now with all that said, let's just jump right in. So, the first thing that I'm going to start out with now, I want to remind you that these are all things that I practice myself. So, I'm not saying this in theory, these are things that I do. Okay, so everything that I offer you here is going to be based on things that I actually do myself. So, again, I know that you want to look your best. You want to be attractive. You want other people to see you as attractive. So, what are some things that you should avoid or not do at all? The first thing is I'm going to say smoking. And smoking, it's detrimental for a number of reasons outside of how it affects your looks, but we're just really talking about looks today and your physical looks. So in terms of your physical attractiveness, smoking can cause, wrinkles and sagging in your skin. And this is because tobacco stimulates this enzyme called MMP1. And the enzyme basically breaks down collagen, and when you don't produce collagen enough, or you have enzymes such as MMP1 breaking it down, then you're going to have poor skin health. So what you want to do is you want to, if you're a smoker, you want to minimize the amount that you smoke, and even better than that, you want to stop smoking altogether if you can. And this is apart from obviously your skin health. For other rather obvious health reasons, it's a really good idea to quit smoking altogether if you can. If you can't, then try to just cut it down to the minimum, that you can get away with. But basically, you want to avoid smoking. It's not good for your skin. So that's going to make you look worse. Okay. Now, another thing about smoking in terms of your appearance is, I've seen people who smoke a lot, and you see like discolored fingernails, and the teeth are not as nice as they could be. Sometimes people who smoke a lot, they just don't have very attractive teeth. This is another impact of smoking. So all of these things detract from your physical attractiveness. Okay. Now let's move on to the next. Next is this: alcohol. Now, uh, unlike smoking, which I don't smoke at all, alcohol, I do like to have a drink once or twice per week. Now, my basic approach to drinking is I try to drink the minimum that I need to drink to get that kind of festive feeling, and then that's it. Then I know how to stop. I've trained myself to just stop. And also, one thing that I do is I tend to drink very slowly, and I tend not to drink spirits with a high alcohol content. Now, I will admit that I am guilty every once in a while of enjoying a nice glass of scotch, but that's kind of like 2 or 3 times a year. So I'll have a glass of scotch just once in every blue moon, and I like it. It's great, but I don't drink it a lot because it's more like strong liquor. So I try to avoid that. But generally, I don't drink more than twice per week. And when I do, I have a relatively small amount. Like I said, just enough to give me that little festive feeling. And then, I know how to stop. This is what I recommend that you do because alcohol is a diuretic. And if you've never heard that word, basically, it's just something that makes you want to go and urinate, to use the restroom. And so when you're urinating frequently, you are going to dehydrate yourself because you're releasing fluids from your body. So dehydration, of course, is not good for your skin because it dries it out, and then it can cause wrinkled skin. I don't think wrinkly is an actual word, but it's wrinkled skin. And then it can also alcohol can have a poor effect on your skin complexion as well, especially if you drink heavily and you start to damage your kidneys, then you can actually cause kind of a permanent damage to your skin complexion. So this is another thing to be aware of with alcohol. So what you want to do if you are someone who enjoys alcohol is just don't get carried away. You don't have to get drunk. You can enjoy a drink. You don't have to drink every single day. I know that there are some people who enjoy a glass of wine every day. I'm not going to beat you up if you enjoy to have a drink, but what I'm going to tell you is um, moderate it, keep it under control, don't be getting drunk. And just remember, you're trying to look your best. Okay, you're trying to look your best. So if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're not going to look your best. And the other thing about this, just in terms of how it affects your behavior, if you're drinking too much, remember the problem with people when they start drinking too much, they get drunk. You start to do and say things that you shouldn't be doing and saying. You start to make a fool of yourself. Alcohol, generally speaking, will bring out the least attractive version of you. And this is just the truth. So if possible, you want to be careful with alcohol. Now, with that said, another one is this: refined sugar. And let me just state off the bat that I'm I am distinguishing refined sugars from natural sugars that you find in fruit. And this is because when you are getting your sugar from fruit, the sugar is coming packaged with the natural fiber as well as all of the vitamins, the nutrients, the antioxidants, all of those healthy things that come together with the sugar when you eat a piece of raw, fresh fruit basically outweigh, in my opinion, the negative effects of the sugar. But quite frankly, because fruit has fiber built into it, actually the sugar that you get when you eat a piece of fruit is not as detrimental to you as would be refined sugar because the fiber is like an instruction manual that tells your body how to process the sugar. In other words, when you get sugar from a fruit, basically the fiber slows down the absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. Okay, and so you're not going to have the same kind of blood sugar spikes that you would have if you were eating refined sugars. Okay, refined sugars being things like just white granulated sugar, uh, high fructose corn syrup, those kinds of things. So when it comes to refined sugars, I want you to understand that there's something that happens called glycation. Now, this happens with natural sugars as well, but it's just worse with refined sugar. So glycation is when the sugar basically combines with proteins and fats and nucleic acids and things like that, and it impedes the cellular function. Okay, and by doing that, it can impede the cellular function of proteins like collagen and elastin. And so these are two proteins that you need to maintain good skin health. And when you don't do that, it's gonna lead to things like wrinkles, cellulite. For some of you women who are concerned about cellulite, just understand that eating a lot of refined sugars will cause those kinds of problems. Now, what are some sources of refined sugars? Things like soda pop. Uh, you know, I know there are people who drink soda pop every day, but I want to encourage you not to do it. Try to just, if you like to have uh, soda pop, just try once or twice a week. If just try to cut that stuff down. It's really not good for you. No nutritional value, just a bunch of sugar. So try to cut that down. Other things like prepackaged pastries, things like that. They tend to contain a lot of sugar, even things that you may not think about, like white bread. When you eat it, I mean, it breaks down into its base, which is glucose basically, and it kind of floods your bloodstream. So this, of course, again, can lead to wrinkles and cellulite and all those things that you don't want. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is fried foods. Now, I know that fried foods are very popular, and you may really, really enjoy eating them. Now, me personally, I don't like to eat a lot of fried foods. I prefer other cooking methods, and I think they usually taste better. But I know a lot of people just love the way fried food tastes. But it's not that I don't like fried food. It's just that I prefer other methods. Now, with that said, my personal policy with fried food is I generally don't eat fried food more than one time per week. So that's it. And occasionally, I'll eat it twice a week or something. But that's, generally speaking, I do not touch fried food more than once a week. That's just my approach. Okay. And it's not only because for the purpose of maintaining my looks, it's for other reasons as well. But let's just talk about how it affects your looks. Number one, fried food, of course, contains a lot of fat. Now, as you know, or as you may not know, fat has twice the caloric density of protein and carbohydrates. Actually, a little bit more than twice, actually. Okay. So if you think about it just in terms of weight, the same weight of fat is going to have more than 2 times the caloric content of carbohydrates and protein at the same amount of weight. So what that means is that obviously the more fat you're ingesting, the more easily you're going to put on weight. And the more weight you put on, generally speaking, except for some of you who are maybe really, really skinny and actually could maybe stand to gain a couple pounds, but generally speaking, the more weight that you're putting on is going to be detrimental to your looks. Okay. Now, and I'm talking about weight that's coming from just fat. Now, weight that's coming from going to the gym and building muscle is a different kind of weight. That's a good weight. Okay. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. But when we're talking about fat, just understand that consuming a lot of fried foods is likely to basically make you gain more weight. Okay. And that's not going to be good for your physical attractiveness, generally speaking. Now, with that said, when fried foods are fried in the vegetable oils, it also produces more trans fats. And, trans fats, of course, are, again, not good for your skin. They're going to obviously lead to cellulite, some wrinkling of your skin. So this is apart from the fact that you gain more weight by eating a lot of fat, it also, again, is detrimental for your skin. You notice that we talked a lot about skin here because skin is really, really important to how attractive you look. How, just your physical attractiveness is really impacted by how clear and how healthy your skin looks. Now, we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to talk about a couple things that you should be doing, okay, in order to maximize the looks that you have. Wherever you are on that look scale, whether you're not all that great looking or average looking or really good looking, you want to maximize what you have, right? So here's what you should be doing. The number one thing is this. Just in general, move more. Okay, just in general, move more. Understand that movement is attractive. Movement looks good. You're always going to be more attractive when you're moving than you are when you are sedentary. So if you live a sedentary lifestyle, understand that automatically just makes you less attractive. Movement is more attractive. It projects energy. It projects vitality. That makes you appear more attractive. When you're projecting energy and get go, it's attractive. Other people will actually see you as more attractive because you're energetic. And that energy is magnetic. People like it. Okay. Now, with that said, the other thing that you can do is work out. Okay. Now, my method for working out is going to the gym. It doesn't have to be going to the gym, but whatever it is, do something to make sure that you are working out on a regular basis. There are a couple of reasons for this. The first one is your posture. Okay? I want you to think about something. When you're doing, especially if you're doing resistance training, that means lifting heavy weights in some way. That's going to do a couple things. It's going to improve your bone density or your bone mass. So it's going to make your bones stronger, essentially, in simple terms. And it's also going to improve the amount of muscle that you have. Now, what does this do? It makes it easier for you to support your own body weight, which in practical terms means that your posture becomes better. It's easier to hold yourself up, upright, straight, in an attractive kind of, your silhouette becomes more attractive because your posture improves, because your bones and your muscles are strong and it's easy to hold yourself up. So your posture, okay, that's the first thing. The second thing that working out is going to do is it's going to make you, how do we say, it's going to make your overall physique more attractive, right? And so again, I mentioned the word silhouette before, right? Silhouette. The more attractive your physique is, the better, more muscular your physique is, generally speaking. I mean, some people get a little bit overboard with it, but just generally speaking, if you improve your physique, just that alone, and I'm talking about aside from slathering on makeup and trying to buy a bunch of expensive clothes, if you simply improve your physique, you automatically will become more physically attractive. It's pretty much guaranteed. And this is no matter where you are on a natural looks scale. I'm talking about in terms of just your how your face looks, okay? No matter where you are on that scale, if you improve your physique, you will get more physically attractive and everybody will notice it. So this is a huge key, and I want you to be working out and building a better physique. Understand, I said it before, irrespective of makeup, irrespective of clothes, this is the beauty. Really think about this. A lot of people, what they do is they'll go in, they'll shop, and they'll try to buy fancy clothes in the hopes of making themselves more attractive physically. In other words, I'm going to buy this outfit and put this on, and this outfit is going to make me more attractive. That's the thought process, right? But when you have a great physique, it's actually the opposite. You make the outfit look good. It's not it, so the whole objective, the whole equation just flips on its head. When you have a great physique, you can wear something that's relatively simple. You ever seen somebody who's like just in a simple, just like a simple T-shirt and some simple jeans and some tennis shoes or something, but their physique is excellent and the clothes look so nice on them. Well, that's because of the physique. Okay. So you can accomplish the same thing. The goal is for you to make the clothes look good, not the other way around. Okay. So those are my recommendations. These are all things that I do. Look, I do not consider myself to be an especially attractive man. I on a natural look scale, I consider myself to be average. I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm like really handsome. I'm average looking, but I do these things and I avoid some certain things like smoking, as I mentioned, to maximize the looks that I do have. I'm never going to look like the most impressive, attractive man in the world, but there are things that I can do, just like there are things that you can do to maximize whatever it is that you're starting out with. Okay, so that's what this has been about. I want you to take this to heart and just, if you're not following these tips already, if you're not already doing this stuff, go ahead and do it. The stuff that I told you to maybe cut out or cut down, cut back on, cut down, cut back on that stuff. Okay, give it a try. Your looks will improve. Okay, with that said, I'm going to leave it here. I want you to take this with you. Talk to you next time.